Reverend Sister Vinitha, Director St. Teresa's, dear Miss Lisa Matthew, the Principal of the College, dear Father Prince, Father Xavier, your respected coordinators Elizabeth and Linda, and my dear good old friend and the trainer in AICUF, Mr. Tommy Ippen, whose training classes wanted people like me too in those good old days in 70s. And we had several programs, and my dear students, I would like to call you young friends rather than students. I have a lot of memories about these St. Teresa's in connection with AICUF also. Of course, several other platforms I am connected to St. Teresa's, but I would like to recollect those good old days where St. Teresa's hosted many of our programs and meetings. And I was elected as first regional joint secretary in the meeting held in St. Teresa's. Thereafter, when Nina, she was the secretary, she resigned, then I became the regional secretary also. Dr. Nina is now a doctor in the Lourdes Hospital, yes. I remember Sister Mary Rose, those days. She was in that meeting, and she was one of the firebrands in AICUF, followed by then Sister Emily. A lot of people to remember that way. Tommy remembered about the people like Lida. I remember Shirley. I remember Monica, who retired from St. Teresa's recently. All these were great contributions AICUF had, or rather contacts, and many people also that way got groomed in AICUF from St. Teresa's. So it was such a fertile land for molding leaders, rather forming leaders, rather than molding, it was forming leaders. And AICUF was there, present so actively. As Sister Vinitha rightly said, there was some disconnect in some time in the past when this Jesus Youth also came in. There's no clash between these two. Both are youth organizations. One little more charismatic, whereas this is AICUF is little more socially oriented. Let me tell you a couple of things about AICUF also, because there's a lot of connection with the topic I would like to speak to today. You know the motto of the AICUF? Motto of the AICUF: we are born into an unjust society, and we do not want to leave it at that. So the society to which we are born in is an unjust society, and we want to make it a just society. We want to make it a just society in the true model of and in the footsteps of Jesus Christ. Inspired by Jesus Christ, his leadership, his involvement, his ideologies, his approaches. The young trucks in the universities have thought of forming themselves into an organization that's called All India Catholic University Federation. Catholic has also a meaning of it is universal. And AICUF takes it, see Catholic as universal because it's not restricted only to Catholics, other Christians are also there. The true teaching of Jesus Christ as only thing. And its activities are oriented towards everybody in society as Jesus did, irrespective of caste, color, creed, sex, language, religion, or region. And AICUF believes in social outreaches, in social awareness, social service, and social activism. In fact, this word conscientization is a word that I believe has been used by St. Paul of Frere in the Pedagogy of the Oppressed. That word I learned from AICUF only. I never, though I was a student of literature, does not mean that I must know everything in English, but at least this word, because, and that word has slowly shifted or drifted into a new word of sensitization. So I would like to have this word conscientization because it goes to your conscience also, not merely getting sensitized about an issue or a problem, but getting conscientized. That means, it goes into conscience and takes you forward with a call to get involved to resolve that issue. And that's the beauty of conscientization. And AICUF has always in playing this role. I said Young Turks because it believes in forming a youth who are creative and critical. These are the two dimensions of AICUF formation. It's not simply critical and leave it, but they are also creative. But they are critical because if there's unjust systems, they criticize and they become critical of it so as to make it creative, not leave it there. So either of these, being creative without being critical without being creative, both are incomplete. So AICUF believes in this completion. Therefore, AICUF had a motto to make a whole man into a whole man. Everybody should be made a there is something, AICUF believes in making everyone a perfect human being. And he can be a perfect human being only if he is living in a just society. So forming a just society and making everyone a perfect human being in the true footsteps of Jesus Christ has been the methodology AICUF always used. And it believed in debate and dissent. These are the two other main attractions for me in AICUF. It believed and it followed always, and it always promoted debate and dissent. So these are the cardinal values, even on the topic which I speak also. This is how I became, a very proactive citizen. I was a pious, as Tommy rightly said, from the age of 7, I started my attachment to the church as an altar boy. And in all known organizations in the church, I have worked till I became a judge. I had almost 40 years of my close association church, including my membership in the Pontifical Council for Laity and participating in a couple of synods in Rome. But what helped me to be a little more genuine Christian approach in all these things is the great contribution, rather the great training I had, very valuable training I had in AICUF. So AICUF made me a critical Catholic, so to say. A critical Catholic, and which made me to be a creative Catholic, and which helps me to be a genuine Catholic. Yes. All these three are very important in the days that we live. So with this small introduction on AICUF,